10 seconds
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chinese regional qualifiers for the Kiev Major, here covered by Beyond the Summit. I'm Pickoffs, I'm joined by Gods, and we're ready to take you through a very important game now. Game 3 between IG.Vitality and, of course, IG themselves. It's been an exciting series so far. Gods, we're seeing the opening draft once again. Vitality, they love that first pick Juggernaut. And IG in return, they're going to be able to grab themselves the Warlock that we saw Vitality have a lot of effectiveness with in Game 2.
Yeah, I think this is like the adjustment. It's like, well, they beat us in Game 2 by having superior team fight. Let's take that away from them. I mean, IG Vitality can look to draft into team fight at this point, but last game IG had like very little to no team fight whatsoever. They had an Axe initiation, but I wouldn't really consider Axe scary team fight. He's initiation, but he's not team fight, and Warlock will give them some good AoE, some good team fight. So even if IG Vitality go into like your Tidehunter-esque type draft here, it's still not going to be like they win the team fight for sure. IG themselves have a good BKB piercing ultimate.
Interesting though, Vitality, they get that Bat Rider that every game so far this series, IG have been banning out, so
yeah.
In July, getting
he's
one of his
Warlock
strengths.
Hunter, I guess. He's going to be tasked to hunt down the Warlock, even maybe hunt down the Lone Druid. Savage Roar does not help against Bat Rider. If you get once you get the lasso on the hero, if you Savage Roar him, that's helping the Bat Rider get back faster to his team theoretically. Maybe prevents him from using a Force Staff, but is a good hero to be running against the Lone Druid typically, and that's partly why IG were banning it those last two games.
We'll see what the third ban here is from IG. Between Game 1 and Game 2, it's been very, very similar, really, the heroes that they've targeted. And well, let's switch it up. Dogfights, as we kind of talked about after the end of Game 2. Didn't really have the heaviest of impact at the start, but the Pudge certainly was a nuisance in the late game when BKBs were out and he had that Dismember to hold them between. And of course, as you mentioned before, you know, Dogfights, most of the time he is a hero and player that can dominate in the early game. It's one of his strongest. And IG can't take the bat away, so I'll take the Pudge away instead.
Next ban from IGV help protect the Bat Rider, take away like a good off-lane, not necessarily team fight, but like kind of initiating type hero. They're Ricky ban, they're really targeting dogfights with these bans here in the second stage, challenging him to go outside of his comfort zone perhaps. See what he's going to play. Has played the Bounty Hunter sometimes, but he's more well known for his Ricky and of course the Pudge. We saw the Earth Spirit earlier. He's been playing a bit of Earth Spirit, but I wouldn't consider him one of like the amazing Earth Spirit players in China or just in general. Like he plays it decently, but he doesn't really shine or stand out on the hero. And if anything, IG may want to take that for themselves and take it away from him if they're worried about that being one of his hero picks.
And you know what's been left in? The OP Tinker.
Yeah,
I mean, could they go for? I mean, there is the Bat Rider to help hunt him down. But if he's
I guess that's why they leave it, because there's they have Bat, so they're like, all right, are we still worried about it? Maybe not. But we'll see. There's the Earth Spirit block pick as well as like, I mean, hero IG can play pretty decently themselves, so Dogfight's hero pool getting limited through the bans and picks.
Oh, we'll see if they grab him anything now, just in case someone else gets knocked out at the last ban from his repertoire.
They're still fine in my mind, sticking with the Shadow Fiend. Even Tinker's better than Shadow Fiend. I think the Shadow Fiend drafts have been for IG. And even though they lost Game 2, it was very much because of the team fight and because Warlock Rock kept like disabling him through BKB. So I think now that IG have Warlock themselves, the Shadow Fiend pick still works for them. Disruptor picked up, interesting. Giving them some extra catch and chase. IGV are going to be really about finding pickoffs and getting kills this game. With the Bat, the Disruptor, even Jug, kind of an aggressive fighting hero in some ways as well.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, that Bat Disruptor combo very nicely. The Bat getting the vision for Disruptor to get those long range glimpses off, and something that is going to help them try and catch down Burning and put him out of position. Invictus Gaming, what do they want to take? Will they take the SF once again, as we've been mentioning? Do they try for the Tinker? I mean, with the Disruptor there as well, that's another real kind of hero that I guess puts you off wanting to play the Tinker.
Yeah, I think they may want to save their mid for last. I feel like we haven't been seeing teams use that last pick to like secure mid laner last, but this is to me the game where you want to do that. There's enough heroes between Shadow Fiend, Tinker, and like the rest of the conventional mid pool that I don't see a reason to rush the mid pick here. You don't know what you're going to be up against in lane. You don't know what the other support's going to be. You maybe Batrider as a support. We saw the Chinese teams experimenting with 4-position Batrider and running other offlaners. So to me, pick an offlaner here is perhaps the best idea. Get like a Darkseer type hero, and then save that mid for later. But we'll see if IG have the same idea or are thinking something else.
Yeah, I think again certainly Darkseer could be nice. We saw them obviously last game ignore Darkseer and get high the axe instead. But even though we had a really fast time farming at the start, it felt like a lot of those crucial kind of early mid game calls just didn't really happen. He didn't really manage to find the start off for the kills that IG needed to find to start to get the momentum. Yeah,
they felt like they were always, like the carries were always just trying to farm and play kind of passively, and as a result, Earthspirit was just kind of like twiddling his thumbs like, guys, I'm ready to go, roll in, do some stuff, but the rest of the team is like, I'm just going to hit some creeps. Sand King, perhaps a more aggressive option this game that will give him a bit more fighting power than the Axe who just wanted to farm the jungle. I don't think we see an Iron Talent Sand King. We've seen two very greedy jungling approaches from high, first on the Centaur, then more recently on the Axe. This time around, Sand King, I mean, you can Iron Talent, you can jungle, but more likely we see him look to contest the lane and play a bit more active in this game.
And again, one of those heroes that in game 2, IG.Vitality, they did ban the Sand King. So they were a little worried about it. Vitality picking up the Weaver. And it's, again, we know that they can, but well, both of the heroes, both of the players can play the Jug. We've seen them both play actually in the safe lane. I mean, the question is, does this mean the Jug's going mid, the Weaver's going in the safe lane? Or could this be some sort of Weaver Disruptor support duo?
I think more likely we'll see the mid Jug.
Yeah.
But I guess there's some flexibility. If they feel like Jug gets a really bad matchup based on the last pick, they may send, I guess, Batrider mid, or like you say, Weaver support, and then pick a mid as, or they won't get to, they have to pick their hero before they see what IG gets. So, yeah, the flexibility mostly is like sending a Weaver mid, but that is kind of less than optimal. Jug doesn't have too many terrible matchups. So, like, there's losing matchups that Jug has, but he doesn't lose them that badly. They're normally at least playable and acceptable.
Well, the Chen's going to be banned out, so definitely.
That would have been a good pick, yeah.
Thinking that it is going to be the cause from Weaver, Batrider, and Jug.
Yep. So we'll see what they go for instead now.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they're thinking it's going to be a support last pick from the IG.Vitality side. And for IG, there's the Tinkerband, so they say, look, we'll give you another Shadow Fiend, we just don't want to verse the Tinker. There's the bounty mentioned. It was something that Dogfight does play every now and then instead of the Riki, even if Riki is preferred. Gives them some roaming presence, and a hero that can disrupt any greedy jungling that we've seen High go for in his offlaners, so...
Yeah, and very nice with the Disruptor.
10 seconds
for the track into Glimpse. It's going to be even easier to catch out heroes. Makes it hard for the Sand King to play around as well, you know, once he hits that 6, normally wanting to use the Sandstorm to duke it up, but with the track on him, it's going to be very hard for him to evade IG.Vitality. IG, what do they want to get for OP? They are going to get in the OD this game, so not the SF, OD instead, and do you prefer this time around?
Gives them a save.
Yeah.
Like, they had Venge the last 2 games with the swap saves. This game around, they had the Warlock instead, so... They took out their like supporting utility hero and replaced it with a big team fight hero in the Warlock. I mean, I guess Warlock has a heal, but he's more about the rock and the fatal bonds and the mid to late game team fights. So the OD kind of fills that gap that they replaced. It gives him, even though he's a carry, but he is a carry that can save a teammate and buy some extra time using that Astral. So I like that they go for something with a bit more well-roundedness rather than like just another single target right-click carry hero in the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, I think it's a good option.
Overall, though, do you think that do IG have it to come back from that game 2 loss, or are Vitality going to just ignore the fact that they lost that one game and just have this amazing streak kind of continue overall in terms of their win-loss ratio this qualifies?
Yeah, I mean, they had a great 8-game win streak if you're looking at like the tiebreakers and all that, but I think all in all, IG's proven that they're the stronger team. I mean, they had the better group stage record. They went 7-2, I believe, to IGV's 5-4. IG's just been a more consistent team in this event. Even if IGV's had some moments of brilliance, like they were the team that qualified for Star Ladder and stuff, but they look pretty lackluster at the Star Ladder LAN event. So I favor IG. I think their draft has made the right adjustments, taking the Warlock away and then last picking the OD to make up for the fact they don't have the Venge swap save. I think they've got a very well-rounded draft, and definitely give IG the edge here, although we'll see. These games tend to kind of turn into like a game 3 decider in a qualifying match. It's going to become a lot more kind of passive, a lot more tense. Both teams are going to be doing everything they can not to make any mistakes and just playing overly cautious as a result of that. So that kind of will turn this into like a more farming late game oriented affair, which is where heroes like Batrider can do very well late. Jug Weaver, you've got a good late game duo for IGV. So definitely an interesting draft from both sides.
Going to call this game. Paparazzi to the safe lane once more, but he's taking the Weaver. Cicada back on that Jug. I mean, I'm sure we won't see the Shadow Blade this game. What we got?
I
mean,
doubt
maybe
it,
it's.
never know.
Would you say it's more acceptable on a mid lane Jug than a safe lane? Rushing it that early?
No,
No,
it's
you're
about
not-
the same level.
yeah.
Maybe a little more.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You've got a Weaver on your team, so you've already got an Invis. Getting a
30
Shadow Blade with
seconds
Weaver in your
to
team
battle.
makes the Shadow Blade worse as well. So I doubt we're going to see that, but who knows? I guess we've seen some funky stuff. Batrider's heading top. Are we going to see a lane swap here? It looks like IGV going to swap up in July up top and send the Weaver down bottom for an aggro lane.
Okay.
Not
I mean, potentially putting
sure
pressure
how
on
well
Burning
it's
at the
gonna go.
start is. But he has got
Yeah,
that
it's-
really strong backup of Earth Spirit and Warlock in the lane.
The battle
Yes,
begins.
and what this does is it helps the mid lane for IGV because Earth Spirit has to now secure bottom rather than
True,
roam
yeah.
mid. Like I think ideally Earth Spirit wants to be harassing mid and helping the OD out in his lane, but by going for this aggro lane, Earth Spirit gets stuck bottom, which means Bounty Hunter can get a lot done at mid. So we're going to see a lot of harass on the OD, and I think Jug will likely, at least early on, win his lane and have a CS advantage over the OD because of this Bounty Hunter's pressure. And Dogfights has a pullman shield, so OP cannot trade hits with him.
Nice. Got the sentry down, but yeah, as you
Right,
mentioned,
but he's not going to win that.
yeah, it doesn't matter that he can see him with the build that Dogfights has. So, yeah, these side lanes going to be interesting to see. This top lane, I mean, in July, actually taking huge amounts of harassment here, which is a little bit out of the ordinary. You would think in this Bat versus Sand King matchup, but he just took a hell of a lot of damage. He's not got any cells. And Papa, what the hell is going on? He's dead. I can't quite believe it. This top lane.
Why has he been jungling? This guy's an off-lane god. He
What?
doesn't need a jungle.
I mean, what? That shouldn't happen. I mean, bringing that
shouldn't.
bat down that low and then the carry just TPing in to die solo to this offlane. Yeah, High had already blown a lot on trying to bring down the bat. I mean, that. Not the start that IGV wanted. And at the same time, mid lane, Cicada being chased down by Opium Boris. They won't quite finish him off, but that is not how they wanted the lanes to kick off IGV.
Yeah, that's worrying. And I see if it looks like Weaver is going to go back top. Batrider can either fall back to the jungle or go bottom now. Not sure what the option's going to be. I don't really think he can get much farm down bottom against the lone druid with the warlock support. So likely he'll just try and jungle up his tranquil boots, maybe get a few more levels. Can look to gank a lane or go back bottom with like a level 4, level 5. But yeah, laning stage has not gotten off to a very hot start here. So looks like Dogfights is going to reside in this one lane. I'd maybe like to see him even give Bounty like a solo lane just so he can get his level 6 and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel between the two of them is they're not going to be able to get much done. Surely Dogfights and Super against these two. Burning and Q should be a-okay. I mean, we're seeing Dogfights already just getting heavily punished as he tried to come in and trade a little bit, but the poor man's shield isn't going to help him against Burning's harassment.
Earth Spirit's even kind of making a move down bottom lane a little bit as well, although he has been spotted. Dire Ward is on top of him, so unlikely we see this amount to much. He's the one with the dust. He's the one looking to kind of play hunt the bounty hunter, and if he can find him with the dust, that likely can lead to a kill. But Burning, he's going to have to back off. He's playing a little bit too aggressive here in this 1v2 scenario.
Yeah, for sure. The Thunderstrike will bring him down low. But he should be fine. What Q's got Shadow Word back on to top him up.
Tango Shadow Word.
Yeah.
He'll be able to heal himself up. This is still pretty effective trading for him. He's got more regen than IGV do. There's just 1 Tango left on Bounty, 1 Tango left on Disruptor. They do still have the Shrine, which they can use, but they pop that Shrine, they come back, and, well, you've got a full HP Lone Druid who will, again, trade hits with you, and then you get low, and he gets healed up. So I think this is a losing battle for IGV, which is where I feel leaving the Bounty to solo this lane to get level 6 faster may be the best bet. As much as you pick the Bounty Hunter to be active on the early game, like, that plan's already kind of backfired. Like, he didn't really achieve what he'd hoped for. The Earth Spirit roll in mid kind of negated his early presence. Jug isn't really winning his lane, so perhaps you just focus more on playing greedy farming. Batrider's doing just that with his play, so I guess the Batrider may be heading bottom. That's if you want to contest this bottom lane, you need to bring in July. That to me is the thing that needs to change.
Yeah, it certainly looks like he may be making his way over there. The mid lane at the moment, even CS between the two of them. Cicado, of course, as we saw, did have that nice little bit of a boost at the start to make sure he was able to keep on par with OP thanks to Dogfight's presence.
Yeah.
Still, that bit of a start on the top lane really hurting IGV. Paparazzi has now managed to catch up. He's nearly hitting onto the level 3. High, though, certainly with the stronger half in this lane. And Paparazzi does have to be careful. I mean, with what Weaver's not too great attack range. If High gets close enough for the Burrow Strike and he gets the extra point in it, he can certainly trade harassment and does have that sentry placed down, of course, ready for if Paparazzi comes too close for comfort.
Yeah, it's not really a lane Weaver wins 1v1. Perhaps if it's 1v1 from the start and you get pulled, like, I guess you don't need the sentry because he's not going Sandstorm, but theoretically you get a value point in Sandstorm just to get rid of the beetles, so that's something High might consider at level 4 or level 5. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. Looks like for now IGV, some connection issues or something. They've DC'd on in July and looking to stabilize, but yeah, I think High's going to do very well. He's got the pull match, so like, and he's soon to have like the Tranquil Boots if he wants to, so he's straight up winning his lane. Weaver is lower level than him, so if anything, Sandking's just better off when he's trading hits, has 4 tangos still. Will be a tough lane for Paparazzi. I'm not really, at this point there's like no lane where IGV are really winning. There's lanes where they're doing like okay and acceptable, like mid definitely isn't a lost lane, but top's a lost lane, bottom is likely to become a lost lane because Burning's going to just farm and zone heroes out of the lane with his bear. He's only level 2 for now, so at least there's no real kill threat until he gets the Entangle, but I think IG are going to walk away with this laning stage unless something special comes out from the Batrider or the Bounty Hunter.
Looks like in July having some internet issues potentially, as we're just waiting for him to reconnect. One of the downsides, because these games we're not too sure what's being said it by Super.
Yeah, no clue whatsoever. Do they have Chinese admins, I wonder? Because I thought it was the same. It's always the same.
I was going to say, I don't think they do they? It's...
Yeah. How do you admin a Chinese game if no one speaks English?
Yeah, how do you know?
Imagine 1 or 2 players do.
How do you know if they're not BMing, you know what I mean? You know, there's that BM rule, isn't it? You can't smack talk the opponent, otherwise you get DC'd or something.
I guess, I mean, in the regions, you know, like in South America, they can BM in Spanish
That's
or in
true.
Portuguese, and the admins wouldn't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the key, really. Just make sure you taught your BM in non-English, and you could just get away with it.
I mean, I guess you could do that in Europe and stuff too, like
any
French
non-English
or something. Just start swearing in French. I went to an international school. That was the key of getting away in class with swearing. Did it in your some weird foreign language. So, one thing Dota's good at teaching people is definitely how to swear in foreign languages.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'm sure if you ask any pro player with, you know, especially ones that have been around a few different teams, they know a huge variety of the curse words from around the world. But we're back in July returns. And as we saw in the bottom lane, of course, Dogfight sounds super well able to get back. They'll shrine up within July is now turned up to this bottom lane as expected, and we'll see if they're kind of able to slow down Burning a little bit now with this Batrider in presence.
This next couple minutes at bottom lane is quite important, I feel, just because they've got no shrine, how they trade hits, they can pressure Burning. They did rotate Disruptor off the lane. It looks like, oh, he's just stacking, or he missed his stack. So he rotated off just to go for a stack and come back, but he missed his stack, which is unfortunate for the Batrider. Likely going to come back bottom lane. They've got good vision around bottom, which is where they want to stick around here and keep pressuring the lane, but it's proving to be fairly tough for them.
Paparazzi trying to harass her high there with a Shikuchi, but instantly back in with the Burrow Strike. Bottom lane, in July on the front lines, Super and Dogfights just behind. Dogfights will be able to get the pullover, and he get himself a bit of that experience as we talked about earlier, just really want to try and get himself a good timing on that level 6. Absolutely crucial that they get the track this game as soon as possible. Top lane, Borax has moved across, and between the two of them, they're looking to potentially set up something on Paparazzi, and they certainly can kill this Weaver if they get a lock.
Yeah, they've only got the stun, they don't have the silence just yet, but that may be enough with a roll. Oh, there we go, there's the kill bottom. That's what we're kind of talking about. IGV need to start doing well in this bottom lane.
It certainly is. It's a kill, but not necessarily the big kill that they wanted. Burning is that one. Dogfights is going to try and chase him down with a Thunderstrike. It will bring him down low, but Q's there in time with the Shadow Word Heal. Top lane, Borax and High do end up going in. And as expected, with a setup from Borax and a follow through from High, there's no chance of a level 4 Weaver getting himself out of that sort of play.
And the kill at bottom was still just the support.
Yeah.
So they get the Warlock, but Burning, he stays alive, and Warlock just TPs back in to heal him. So this is kind of what I talked about. Trading hits and trading blows with a Warlock plus carry lane is not really efficient trading, because they're always going to have that sustain. They've got more tangos, they've got more heals. The Shrine's already been used on the Dire side. In July's got Tranquil Boots, I guess, to kind of even things up a little bit. But at this point, Burning's Harass is going to start getting harder and harder to deal with the Orb of Venom, and soon to be level 5. Once that Entangle comes out on the bear, you can't really stick around too much. So seems like they're focusing elsewhere now with a 3-man rotation towards mid.
Eyes on OP. Dogfight's looking to set up, and with the Blade Fury as well, OP will have the defensive Astral. TP's coming through as well, and he looks like he's going to be fine. There'll be a glimpse back onto Borax, but just his presence was enough to really hold IGV back from chasing down OP. So OP will be kept safe in this mid lane, despite the 3-man move from Vitality.
Yeah, just throwing a Boulder Smash before he gets glimpsed out of there too, to guarantee the OD safety. And OD didn't even damage. He's got double null, boots, close to, oh, looks like he may be going for the Midas, not the treads. We'll have to wait and see, but he's fairly tanky with 908 hit points and the Astral to save himself.
CS across the board, certainly favouring IG. You can see in this top lane how much High's finding. 36 CS. Paparazzi only sitting on 16, really struggling to find that much at all against this Sand lane. Bottom lane, Burning coming forward. There's a bit of a wraparound from Dogfights. He's trying to go for in July. Savage Roar will hold back to them. Didn't clip Super, and Super tries to go for the body block. But again, Q with the level 2 Shadow Word, the heal's too strong, as Burning will be kept alive. And IGV just don't have the damage between the 3 of them to take down a lone Druid when he's got this backup from the Warlock.
Top lane, meanwhile, Paparazzi, they're trying to go on him with this time they've got the silence. They can epicenter and see if they hit the Burrow Strike. All it takes is one Burrow Strike and he's dead. Burrow Strike into Boulder Smash into Geomagnetic Grip with an epicenter. Paparazzi is 100% dead. He cannot get Burrow Strike, or he's gone, done for.
Yeah, has to keep his distance, and of course that is going to mean it's going to continue to be incredibly hard for him to get any sort of farm from this lane. I mean, and not receiving any backup, it's still the pressure trying to be applied by IGV on this bottom lane with Dogfights eyeing up Q and Burning. Top lane, Paparazzi just continuously
farming with Shikuchi.
Yeah, getting himself in and out.
Takes a CS with Shikuchi and then backs out before a Burrow Strike can come out. Seems he's at least well aware that the Earth Spirit was nearby. Perhaps he doesn't know Earth Spirit's left yet, but Paparazzi's play definitely suggesting he knows that combo with Earth Spirit plus Sand King will kill him, even if he's got Shikuchi up, even with the raindrops. So even with the time lapse, he's not going to get time lapse off if he's silent. So problem is, the end result is his tower's taking a lot of damage. High's doing a perfect job of, if you can't get the kill, I'm going to get your tower. And Earth Spirit is going to rock back up, so
here we go.
Got him.
And that's the thing. As soon as they get that Burrow Strike, that's a guaranteed kill. IGV will TP in reaction. Can they get a kill in return? They're looking towards High. And holding onto it. Sandstorm's there as well. He actually tries for the TP out, but instantly in July with the lasso, holding him down. Now with 4 stacks on him, High does have a Burrow Strike. But 5 stacks, he's almost certainly going to be run down. Does have the Sandstorm, tries to duke his way out of it, but with a Thunderstrike on him, he's down. And that was a very ballsy TP attempt, straight under a level 6 bat. And it wasn't like he only just hit level 6. He was level 6 way before any of the waves came through.
Yeah, he was hoping sometimes bats don't level up lasso, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's what he's
he's
banking
hoping
on.
for.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure, like, he's just like banking on, like, all right, maybe this bat hasn't leveled up lasso. Let's just go for it and see what happens. But he had a burrow strike, and that's where I feel like he could have at least burrowed away and then gone for the TP, or you like burrow the bat rider and then TP. But I think he was a little bit short mana because after the TP he couldn't burrow right away. He was like 3 mana short, so perhaps he did the math and was like, all right, if I burrow, I can't TP. I'm probably dying if I burrow because I'm slowed. So it looked like maybe a kill regardless, but yeah, it was a bit odd. So how's our other lane doing? Still a big like lane win all across the board for IG, and even though they kill the Sand King on the again, kills Paparazzi, he's done a lot of damage. That top tier 1 tower is getting incredibly low. And it looks like Borax scouts out a fresh ward. Disruptor walks through the river, plants a ward on that cliff, and that's gonna very quickly get de-warded by the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, it looked like Borax. I wondered if he would maybe have gone for that kill attempt. I mean, they have the ward up on the high ground. They know there's not really much behind Super, but they will let him be. Top lane, High did try and make a bit of a go there with the burrow strike. Mid lane is where the big kill attempt's going to happen. And in July, straight in there with the lasso into the Omni Slash. And in July, he's certainly making things happen with this flaming lasso.
Yeah, doing it without the Blink Dagger, that's the important thing. If they had to wait and Blink Dagger, I think they were going to be in trouble. Deny a top super from the tree. Denies the T1 tower from Sand King, slowing down. Oh, he still got the Blink Dagger, but slowing down his follow-up item, I guess, would say. But he's immediately TP'd mid with this Blink Dagger, ready to try and engage. He knows there's no lasso or Omni Slash. This could be a good fight.
He wants to go straight in here. Who's he going to find? He goes in, will get the initiation onto the Batrider. Borax going forward as well. They've got the damage to take down in July. They'll turn towards Cicada, and with 4 of them there, they'll find a second. Making big things happen there with the perfect Blink reveal on High.
Yeah, he just instantly TP'd mid after getting the top tier 1 tower and picking up Blink Dagger, and Disruptor's Tower Deny not enough to stop Sand King getting the money he needed. Perhaps they thought they were safe with the Tower Deny, like, oh, maybe Sand King's not going to blink now, but 10 minutes in, Blink Dagger up, this Sand King having a fantastic game, top of the net worth charts, pressuring that tower. Does look like Dire Side want to go for a smoke here. They group up around the shrine, they smoke, but they're smoking into Warlock ultimate.
Oh, and immediately in with the burrow strike and the boulder smash onto 3, holding back IGV. They're trapped in the kinetic field. They're still going to try for the kill, glimpsing back 1. The rock is dropped though. IGV, they have to run, they have to try and hide, but in July's already down. Dogfight's in trouble as well as Borax rolls forward. They've lost the Sand King, but they've found 2. Cicada, can he even it out? Defensive Astral from OP, keeping his teammates alive. Cicada has to now run. They've trapped 1 in the Static Storm. Super, he's able to take down the Warlock. Can they get more as Paparazzi and Super looking towards OP and burning? Paparazzi had a tough time up top. Kills would be massive if he could get more. It's not going to be the case, so it ends up just being the 2 for 2. A support and an offlaner for a support and an offlaner.
Yeah, like, I think you're right for IGV. They obviously were expecting a better team fight, given that they were the ones smoking up and going aggressive, but considering how it started with that burrow strike and the boulder smash, and then Warlock just hit level 6, swoops in, hits a chaotic offering with a level 3 fatal bonds, I think that fight went as good as you could have hoped for, fighting into the big ultimates. And now you can look to go again. There's no rock, that's just been used. Perhaps you consider taking another team fight with another smoke gank, but you also want to be careful not to chew through too many of your smokes early on. And even though there's no rock, there's still Epicenter, there's soon to be Magnetized, there's other big ultimates for IG.
They're searching for dogfights. They know he's in the neighborhood. They're going to be able to find him. In fact, IGV themselves are the ones that want to fight. They try and cleanse map burning, but with the Savage Roar, it sends them back. The lasso's there from in July, though. They take down the Earth Spirit, and with the Flame Braid back onto Q, they're looking for more track and the rundown from the bat. And I feel like we're starting to see why in July's Batrider is being banned out. It seems like he's just so good at getting the setup, and this is way before he has a blink. And it looks like, of course, he's going to be looking for the drums build, something that a lot of Batriders do like to prioritize, especially in a game where we're seeing how much he can get done without the need for that surprise initiation.
And 1400 gold for 2 supports thanks to the track is a pretty big deal, and that's some nice kills. They even scanned the bounty. I think it was a bit risque of IG to lurk around and continue farming, even though they knew bounty was there. On top of them, they were like, well, maybe we bring in a dust and kill him, maybe we try and use this information to our advantage, but they didn't have numbers there, they didn't have the level 6 quite yet on Earth Spirit, it was like 1 or 2 CS away, and they didn't have the rock, so was ultimately not a fight that was going to go too well for them, and IG.Vitality were able to rotate in numbers to win the fight for themselves.
Oh, they smoke up, but there's that mid ward from IGV. Sees it all. I know exactly that IG are going to go for some sort of a play heading down towards the bottom. Cicada's keeping himself hidden in the tree line. Do IGV want to try and catch them off on the back of this? That's the question. They are starting to head over, but in fact, they do end up getting caught out. Immediately Disruptor being initiated on. Super actually somehow managing to keep himself alive. Finally goes down. The Golem has been dropped. They've lost Disruptor, but in return, here comes In July as the lasso onto Q. They've managed to take down 2. High came in with a burrow strike, but he's had to burrow strike and run as he looks to chase down the Sand King. Magnetize as well will allow them to take a second in return, and maybe with the appearance of burning, they can find more. Cicada trying to run up to the high ground, buyback from Dogfights. He wants to try and help out the team, but Cicada's already down. In July and Paparazzi may be in trouble as well themselves. They move forward, did get the kill on the SK. Paparazzi will be able to Shikuchi out. But they will keep these 2 alive. And In July, he's maybe even eyeing up the potential to catch down more, but already IG are tucking their tail and running. So overall, again, it feels good news for Vitality considering it was IG smoke, but they did buy back on Dogfights.
Yeah, the buyback makes it a bit tougher on them as far as their economy goes, but I like the idea. Bounty Hunter recognized that the fight was maybe going to drag out, and then his buyback could really help his team out. Any kills they get was going to be track gold for them, not to mention any kills could be found because of him with the track, the bonus movement speed, so making sure his team come out on top, and even though it hurts his farm a little bit, he's still in a pretty good place as a bounty. So they followed up, they get a tower as well. Paparazzi has managed to recover after that very rough laning stage. Level 12 now has the Helm of the Dominator and is looking a whole lot better than he was 5 minutes ago.
Bottom, alright, straight in with the burrow strike, just a bit of harassment, no one else backing him up. Has to be a little careful himself with IGV wrapping around aggressively into Invictus Gaming's jungle. Tracks out from Dogfights, and IGV just maintaining the space to push on onto this bottom tower. They know that there's no chaotic offering. Epicenter magnetized for a bit of time. They can get away with this tier 2 and maybe even more. Ooh. That's
possible.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, with Static Storm, the silence is actually hit in 0.1 second increments, which is why sometimes, you know, we see like in Ember Spirit games where he gets glimpsed back and instantly remnants out. You do have that chance to do it. So if you queue up, I mean, he must have just spammed the blink perfectly, because that, unlike the Spirit, you can't just, I don't know. He was very quick on the fingers with that.
I've personally never seen that before, but that's impressive. Now I know you can do that. Because I know with the Ember, if you time it right, it's also because the glimpse triggers as you're like in your
invulnerable
motion.
True.
Yeah, you can do it. You can time it so that it's not even about getting it between the silence ticks. But that was he just used the blink before he took any damage from the ultimate.
Here we have
another pick off, another track kill.
That Borax is going down. No way he can roll out of that one. They'll take down another IGV. You're getting the track kills. Overall, the 3 net worth leaders, though, are all over on Invictus Gaming. But it's very close.
Their supports are, but I guess that's the track. The track gives money to everyone. It is an overall gold lead for the Dire side, thanks to the track money and the spread wealth from the Vitality squad. But I think ultimately you'd rather see your cores pulling ahead. I think that's where IG are like, well, even if we're even on gold, our cores are doing much better than our opponents. ODs getting a lot of levels and farm with the Midas. He just needs to find a way to not get like caught as he was like in that Static Storm. That last team fight could have gone so much better for IG if he managed to get the Sanity's Eclipse off, but he was just a little bit out of position. Got caught in the silence, didn't get much of his spells off, and see if he can do better in these upcoming fights.
Do actually get the glimpse back onto Burning. High's going to jump over, tanks some of the Omni Slash damage. They'll surround Cicada, who goes for the Blade Fury TP out. He's not going to make it though. Chaotic offerings drop, Jugs out, and they're going to look for more as well. High with the Burrow Strike onto Super as IG, they'll get themselves the 2 here. Super's making them work for it, but the blink forward and the pincer to the back from High will secure the second. And Q, just great news for IG that he was just able to turn up in time and have that cancel through the Blade Fury TP.
Well, they'll get towers off of this as well. It's coming at a cost perhaps with IGV in pushing out this top lane, recognizing that they aren't really able to defend, having lost 2. They're going to give up the tower, but IG are coming to fight and defend up top.
Yeah, they're looking to wrap around.
TPs from Vitality.
Yeah, quickly out of there.
Could have guessed with a boulder smash, but hey, it's not always, very unlikely he would have landed that one. I like that Sand King's gone for this Yule. Being able to get off this track is very important for a hero like Sand King, who wants to play this like hit and run style. He wants to start the fights with a blink Pyro Strike, but then he also wants to be able to make sure he can get out of there, which once he's tracked is very hard to do because he can't rely on the Sandstorm. He also maybe can't get a second blink off, but the Yule's blink is fantastic for using the Yules to reset your blink timer. So a very useful item for him this game. And even transitioning into a Lotus Orb to follow this up, they're really trying to address this bounty hunter problem.
Smoke time for IG.V. In July, ready to go with this blink lasso.
Yep. I mean, rocks down, let's go fight. That's kind of the mentality. Fight around the long cooldowns. But IG's positioning on the high ground by their tier 3 tower. Often you see, this is where like maybe a newer player would get caught out. They'd be sitting behind their tier 2 tower and get caught by this smoke. But
they're popping the drums. They really want to try and get the catch out, and they'll get it here with the glimpse back. Can they follow through? Burning's under the tower. What's the ultimate form? Is too tanky for them to go on.
It's too close to the tower too. Like they know there's, if Batrider gets a blink, he hasn't got Force Staff, so blink lasso doesn't get a force out, and you're committed to fighting underneath the tier 2 tower into a 5-man team fight.
IG.V getting forced back here as IG continue to hold on this mid lane tier 2. Burning, Maelstrom and Dragonlance complete on his own build. Roshan, of course, at the ready. I mean, do you think we're going to see either side try for the Roshan yet, or is it too risky on both sides because of the team fight potential of either side?
Yeah, it's pretty risky, and neither team kills it quickly. There's no Slaughter, there's no... Weaver's perhaps the main good Roshan hero with the Swarm. But I think because of IG's scary team fight, unless IG.V win a fight first, they won't go Rosh. Or perhaps if like ultis are all down, like if Epicenter and the Chaotic Offering are used. But that Chaotic Offering just coming back up now. Warlock ready to go once again. And this is where IG probably try and smoke up, try and take a fight. They're very much the team with the edge around these team fight spells, assuming someone like Warlock doesn't get caught by a Batrider lasso.
And of course, interesting to see as well, Paparazzi with his build, doing something that's not necessarily the standard with Weavers. The Dragonlance Helm into the Maelstrom, not feeling the need for the Lincoln Sphere, not feeling the need for the Desolator. And can you see the reasons why this game?
The Helm was like, it's kind of a catch-up item. Like when you're having a rough game, Helm's quite a good item because you can build it piece by piece, and then the item is just pretty nice, safe, gives you good HP regen. The Maelstrom's just like cheap cost-effective damage.
Come in, but in July they're quick with the lasso. In return, the Boulder Smash comes from the 3. They'll drop the Chaotic Offering as well, but the Static Storm is trapped. Well, the Bear and High, but High, he's still able to walk off with the Sandstorm and Burrow Strike. Does get glimpsed back into the mix of all. Again, another Boulder Smash to hold back dogfights, but they finished off the Warlock. They've got the track out onto OP. Cicada thinking about going for it. Holds the Diffuser Blade charge on it. High, still alive somehow. In July continues to try and chase. Well, there's going to be Borax there with the backup. The Shrines at the ready. High, he's not going to use it though. He Yules up. Surely he can't survive this one. He's been tracked up. Will finally get taken down as IG.V pick up another track kill.
They want to fight into the Chaotic Offering. That is impressive and well executed. Catching, wasn't the Warlock they called, but still a good catch in the Sand King. Sand King, as long as he stayed alive, at no point did he use a single spell offensively. He used like 2 Burrow Strikes to try and save his life. He used his Blink and his Yules to try and save his life as well. He was never posing an aggressive threat. He's the one who's got a lot of farm, a lot of levels, and it's very important to land Burrow Strikes on the enemy, and just didn't get the chance to do so that fight. So without the Burrow Strikes, OD and Lone Druid can't really dish out that much damage because heroes just aren't being saved.
IG.V off the back of that very successful fight secure themselves to Roshan. Aegis is the hands of Cicada. Very close to having the Yasha complete over that Diffusal. And they'll head straight to the Shrine. Shrine up. As it goes though, regardless of these fights, Burning and of course OP are able to maintain their top spot on the net worth. I mean, we're seeing kind of across all 3 games of the series, these two are very good at keeping the farm high, despite the conditions that they're put into.
Yeah, that's been definitely a consistent thread between these 2 games. Burning's always been very impressive on his Lone Druid. It's just whether or not the draft and the overall playstyle has worked out for them well. And this game looking a bit more promising for IG, although they are still got some issues to deal with, namely the pick-up potential of this In July Batrider. He's been so good so far, and once the Force Staff comes up, it gets even better. IGV have such great catch between the Batrider and the Disruptor, the Bounty Hunter as like the scouting tool. He's not really a pickoff hero in terms of like being able to DPS himself, but he provides the vision they need to get the lassos, to get the glimpses. So Dogfight's very important for this draft to work.
Well, they're sweeping across it. I don't know if they'll actually be able to find anyone. Dogfights has a gem out on its way as well, so they'll be able to maintain control of the map. And we'll get a ward down already, though. IG out of the neighborhood. And I'm just kind of having eyes on Burning to see what goes. Okay, he went for the Hyperstone. So similar to what we saw in Game 2, where he went for what, the Phase, Dragonlance, Mjolnir. Then did go for the Chrysalis into the Daedalus. We'll see if that's going to be the same situation this game, or if he does feel the pressure to get that BKB first this time around.
Nearly Mjolnir with the static trap can do a lot of damage. These early fights before people actually have too many items, so I think a dangerous item, but IGV are ready to force the fight. They're threatening high ground here with the Aegis on Jug. He can just walk up, hit the tower, Blade Fury if he needs to, but it seems, yeah, they're more intent on just taking the easy tier 2 tower. This, again, I mentioned, Game 3 decider, when it goes to Kiev, teams will be playing a lot more cautiously as a result. IGV do need to be careful not to play like too passively. They are the team that has a lineup that wants to find pickoffs and play aggressive, so they definitely want to play a pretty fast tempo, but they're still going to be doing so in a cautious-ish way.
Oh, hi, can he play his way out of this one? He has a Yules and a Blink. Can he do any sort of fancy footwork? There will be the glimpse back. Let's get the chance to Yules up, but this time he's not blinking his way out of this one. The Static Storm's there to control him, and they'll take him down. Thanks to their respawn talent, though, only dead for 20 seconds, so he'll be right back up before IG's under any sort of threat.
Yeah. Did knock it? Was it a track kill? I'm not sure if it was a track kill or not. He heard it off with the Yules,
because he used off the initial track. I'm not too sure if he got the chance to get the second track out, yeah.
He maybe prevented a track kill, but ultimately still a kill. Still some money going there and experience going their way, but not quite the outcome he would want. He's close to that Lotus Orb, level 15 now on the Sand King, but does feel like IG are somewhat bottled up in their own base, so while things were looking pretty good and they were like slightly ahead, if not even on gold, that could start to change throughout this Aegis period. As IG.Vitality get map control, they've got good wards kind of surrounding the Radiant base, scouting out pickoff opportunities as heroes leave the map, but on the side of IG, they're looking to take away that. They've got the gem on Sand King, they're trying to just deward the map. He doesn't need to be careful not to like go for those solo lane pushing plays if he's got this gem, because losing the gem at this point could be very detrimental to IG.
And there's Burning, pushing off the Mjolnir. Same time in return, over on the side of IGV, Cicada has the Manta complete. So it's going to be a little harder for the side of IG to lock down, relying on kind of Borax's silence and initiation. Definitely ways that the Jug can play around it. Burning back to base though, as they just are very, very careful about how they push out on the map, IG. They know that they need to be there, ready for any sort of a defense if IGV come in. And I mean, tier 2 on the top lane, definitely a tower that could be defendable for IG. But they have to be careful, because IGV, they're smoked up, leading the way around. IG keeping themselves up to the high ground at the moment. We'll see how far they come out, and they may actually just let this one go. Yeah, it's already low, so they won't try and come out for that one. Borax in the mid lane needs to be careful.
Ooh, yeah. The Aegis timer like 20 seconds away from expiring. If it was maybe closer to expiring, they perhaps would have considered it, but they won't even glyph it. They'll hold their glyph for the high ground in case they get picked off or something, for example, and just wait for another day. Sand King is still like poised in this bottom lane, trying to maybe catch a straggler, perhaps backdoor a tower or something, force a rotation back. He's dropped the gem off, so he doesn't have that anymore. And he'll let the creeps perhaps finish this tower off.
There's the reclaiming of the Aegis. Lotus Orb complete for SK. So they can certainly try and keep these cores alive in the front lines. OP with the BKB, Hurricane Pike, having high with that Lotus Orb. Lots of ways that they can allow OP to stand on the front lines and get the damage out. There is a fair bit of physical though from Paparazzi and Cicada, but of course with the full out Mjolnir as well built up on the Weaver, it's a little bit invested in the magical that is going to be
Radiant
negated.
Scan, they know where they are.
Who's going to get the jump though? High comes in, finds the burst truck on Super. They can take him out before he static storms. That'll be pretty huge. He uses himself up though to get the chance to try and play, but OP BKBs takes down Super. They've found one. Now OP turns towards Dogfights. The Sanities comes down. Dogfights has to get himself out. He doesn't have mana or health to play with. But Paparazzi, he's starting to bring them apart. This Miona doing so much damage. The boulder smash from Borax, though, onto 2. That's going to be the jug down. They'll turn towards the Weaver. He's silenced up. Can he get out? No, he's already used the time lapse. IG getting a big win off the back of that fight, taking down the Jug and the Weaver, and Borax hitting some fantastic setups. As indeed, as I read apparently, I don't know if you knew this, but Borax did name himself after Jerax, as I believe the original tag of this man is Baboka, but he changed his name in honor of him.
Well, it's definitely a player to aspire to play like, I'd say. Jerax, the best Earth Spirit player, and also, of course, one of the best full position support players out there. So Baboka and Borax here doing some fantastic stuff, and well, IG gonna back off after winning that fight there. That was, I think, the real issue for IG.Vitality. That fight was just July's lasso target. It was one of those things where he just went on the first hero he saw, but it was a lone druid who he couldn't kill. He had no damage kind of supporting him, so it was kind of a wasted lasso. I think ideally he needed to find one of the teamfight heroes. He needed, if you're going to lasso a hero who doesn't die, it needs to be stopping them using spells. So if he lassos like a Sand King or a Warlock or even an Earth Spirit, if he lassos the Earth Spirit there, even if it doesn't kill him, it just stops the silences and the stuns from coming out, and it would have been perhaps a bit better for his team. But ultimately, you're fighting under a shrine as well. Like, fighting underneath that shrine, once IG get to the high ground and activate that shrine, it gets very difficult to sustain yourself in IG.Vitality shoes.
Yeah, we're seeing Paparazzi, of course, as well after the Mione, getting that BKB queued up, and certainly a necessity. Just considering the amount of control that they have on IG, we saw as soon as he pops the first time lapse, he has to be so careful how he sticks around, as they'll certainly be able to kill him off the second chance that he has.
I was meant to have this.
We'll see if IG look to reset once they get this rock back up. It's pretty close, 20 seconds away. I have the ability to do so. Man, Q is poor. He is boots, windlace, TP. This is one of the poorest Warlocks I've seen in a long time, but I guess that's the nature of versing these Invis heroes forced by Ob sentries for the team. And Earth Spirit actually has managed to get good farm.
Yeah, with
like
the Midas.
Yeah, maybe Borax, it's like, it's your turn, buddy. You start buying some wards and let Q at least finish the Ghost Scepter, the Force Staff, whatever it may be. I think it's too late to go for a Midas on Warlock. It's not going to farm it anytime soon, so you may as well just buy whatever cheap items you can get. Ghost Scepter seems alright, since it may save you against the Weaver, for example, but there is still a Diffusal up. Rosh has respawned, and IGV are in there. Not afraid of the ultimates. They should be afraid of the ultimates, but they shouldn't be afraid because IG is showing their entire lineup down bottom.
And IGV taking this down with pretty incredible speed, so no way that IG can contest, and they will just have to be content with taking a tier 2. But that is going to mean Aegis on Cicada. That's going to be pretty scary, as IGV could be prepared to try and go for a high ground push. IG themselves already backing away, not looking for anything more than just the tier 2.
Yeah. Feels like both Roshes were, well, I guess the first Rosh, it did require a fight first where the rock was used and IGV kind of won it, but that Rosh was a bit too straightforward and easy for IGV, considering that IG had their ultimates, were kind of ready to fight. They have the BKB on OD, they've got the Lotus Orb, they've got some big items, so it's a bit surprising that they let that Rosh get picked up. And I don't think IGV go for that Rosh if IG are missing off the map. It's just the fact that they're showing themselves taking a tier 2 tower that, you know, they're like, well, this is free. Like, there's no one who can really come and contest this. But game will slow down now. IG probably will look to just not really team fight into the Aegis, and I think IG also know, like, they've lost all their tier 2 towers, which not a good thing, but it also means that there's no objectives for IGV to take outside of tier 3s. They can't take shrines, they have to go for the high ground push, and I think IG are perfectly happy defending high ground with Sand King, Warlock, Earth Spirit, all these heroes. Their high ground defense is phenomenal, so IGV are going to be pressed to achieve much with this Aegis, unless they want to put themselves in a risky position going for that high ground push.
Absolutely. I mean, Borax as well. He's certainly playing for the group, but I don't think he has helped out Q really at all. He's saving up for this Aghanim Scepter on the Earth Spirit, and nice. He's doing fairly well on the road to it, nearly getting on to 3,000. Bottom lane, high, of course. He's just consistently been hiding in the trees, jumping out, and skipping the creep waves. So that attempt to push from Vitality when it comes through is going to be even more difficult, and you've already talked about how hard it's going to be in the first place. So with lack of creeps, their window to actually get something done on the aggressive is just going to get smaller and smaller with plays like this happening.
Yep, they're desperately looking for a pickoff. They're close to finding one, but nope. OP's out. 4-staff blink. He gets out of there just in time before the Batrider catches up to him. And that was a drum charge used the last... Not like the end of the world running out of those drum charges, but it would have been nice to have found that kill using it.
A build for Burning, of course, did prioritize that BKB, and we'll be going for that Daedalus as we saw him pick up in game 2. And we certainly saw how much damage that does grant him. And IG.V will have to be incredibly careful about just the amount of control that IG have. You know, Chaotic offering, the Burrow Strike, Earth Spirits combination. If they're able to hit it off, and Burning sat there on the back lines, it's going to be a scene that we're all too used to seeing when a lone druid's in play, and is at this amount of farm at this stage of the game.
The high ground siege is really reliant on in July finding a pickoff. Like he's got to find that lasso, and there is counterplays available. Like he's got a BKB, but even with the BKB, you want to commit the rock to stop him pulling that hero deep out of the base. You can do so. Looks like there's only one. Yeah, there's only one 4-staff on this dire side, so just the Batrider. You can't get that secondary pull, like, which may be something Dogfights considers after some of his follow-up items, but I'm not sure it's a necessity. The bigger item coming is Super Zag Scepter. They're going to look to take out the BKBs and some of these other pesky items from the mix with the Ag's Disruptor.
It's going to be very, very close to having it as that last component. As, Borax actually changing his mind here. And isn't going to be going for the Ags. He's queued up the Crimson Guard instead.
Huh. Okay. Looking to block that Omni-Slash damage partially, the Swarm damage, the Weaver right-click. I mean, Weaver hasn't gone for, like, high right-click damage items necessarily, so this Crimson Guard becomes a little bit more effective as a result. Things like Manta Illusions. Just looking for that team sustain. We'll see if he sticks. Oh yeah, he has stuck to it. Yeah, he's bought the pieces now. He's committed. He has got just about enough money for it with another creep or two. And yeah, he can look to go out and buy it now.
I mean, I guess as you said, just probably better overall for the team. But with these high ground pushes in, you know, you never know when there's going to be the potential for forcing someone out of position and then stoning them and kicking them back into your fountain.
It's very hard to use the I feel like I've seen the accept to save the hero, and then right, like as soon as that Stone Remnant wears off, like the hero still dies. But the offensive use of it can be very, very brutal as well. I'm not sure. I doubt. Can you use it with your BKB? I don't think so, because it's not an ultimate, is it? I assume you can't use on like a BKB Batrider, but
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you can stone a BKB target. That would
you could
be
use
too
on the hero
strong.
that gets lassoed though. Like if your teammate gets
oh,
lassoed,
for sure, yeah, you can protect them.
Teammate, so.
Yeah.
But I think they look at it. I think the decision was like, we've already got it saved. The OD's already kind of in charge of saving the hero that gets lassoed. If they didn't have like a Astral or like the Venge Swap in the past game, they'd probably rate the Ag Scepter higher. But because they've got a save spell already, they probably think it's lower priority.
IG coming out ready to break this quiet spell. Can they find anything though? That's the question. Paparazzi moving around to get a direct hit with the scan. They know where IG.V is, and they know it's likely that there's a lot of them. How can they jump in? Well, they are going to find Disruptor on the side of it. Immediately, probably the Boulder Smash. OP comes across. They'll use him up. Yeah, they haven't killed him immediately. The Chaotic offering comes back, holds back 3 of them. OP looking to Super, finally finishes him off. But now the lasso comes through. No, the attack missed. Super, he didn't go down. He'll survive, gets the chance to turn around with a Static Storm. And that allows IG.V to find OP on the OD. Q, he'll try for the TP. In fact, he's going to make it here. No one really cares about him. He's out back to safety. High,
Borax
holding back the jug with the Yules. Borax indeed. Is he going to escape? Yes, he is. No cancel for the TP. He's out. And at the end of the day, it's obviously not great, right? They do lose the OD, one of their big cores. Burning was putting on the pressure down bottom. He wasn't actually involved in the majority of that fight.
Yeah. I felt like no one wanted to go on the Disruptor. Like, they stun him, and then I was like, all right, that should be the free kill at least to start things off right. But I believe OD didn't want to commit like an offensive blink because he knew all the heroes were waiting on the high ground. So if he blinked in to kill Disruptor, he probably felt he put himself in a dangerous position. But he could have done so, perhaps just BKB to kill the Disruptor and then take the fight after it. But now without buyback, suddenly IGV are able to perhaps get some damage onto this high ground.
Absolutely, but High charging up the epicenter, in he goes, gets the stun onto Paparazzi. Do they have the control to bring him down? He's silenced, feared up. Can they finish in the damage from burning? It's enough. They'll finish off the Weaver, and now looking for more. Borax rolls forward. Dogfight tries for the TP, but he's been used up, smashed in the face by a boulder. High's also chasing down Super. Super uses it up, goes for the TP. There's no Burrow Strike. Super will escape. But the same, of course, can't be said as Bounty Hunter ends up going down, as well as that Weaver, and just some perfect kind of chain stun and control to make sure that they can get rid of this Weaver before he gets any chance to slip away.
Yeah, it was very well executed. The Earth Spirit to everyone else into the Lone Druid Savage rolled everything right on that. Didn't get a chance to get out of that one with a time lapse whatsoever, and as a result, IG hold their high ground and will look to take their last outer tower up top, it seems.
Burning with the money as well for that Daedalus if he wants to go all in on the purchase.
He's level 20 now, so he can be a bit more aggressive with his push, not have to be so worried about the respawn time. If he does die, like he can kind of play more the front liner for the OD.
Oh, yes. Looks like, yeah, with the respawns coming back up, IG aren't going to go too crazy on this push up top.
Yeah, they'll take the tier 2 and just back off the easy tower. Jug looking pretty farmed, scaling much better. Didn't go for a Shadow Blade. We can breathe a sigh of relief as they completed Abyssal now and queuing up a Butterfly. See if he commits to that. If he sees like an MKB coming, or if he thinks Lone Druid's going to let him, may not feel like the Butterfly is going to offer him quite as much. But is always good against OD, because OD's a hero that doesn't build MKB. If anything, OD can build a Bloodthorn, but that's a very, very expensive item to build into when he's not even completed his Shiver's Guard just yet. Well, he's just completed it, but I'll have to work up from 0 to get to the Bloodthorn.
IGV coming out the base, Weaver pushing the mid. They check out Roshan. It is the longer respawn, so they won't be able to find anything there. Maybe Injulai can find a chance for a kill though. Borax comes out, places down a ward. And the bear comes up. Paparazzi actually revealing himself just to go in onto the bear. The jump forward from Injulai looking for High, but in fact he doesn't get the last off. Forces forward, but High will be protected by the Astral. They'll get the glimpse back onto Borax, lays down the Magnetize. The big 3-man chaotic offering, but can they follow through the damage? Yes, OP blinks forward with the BKB, but he gets bashed up by Paparazzi. The damage is too much from Cicada. As Cicada takes him down, triple kill for the Jug. IG getting ripped apart. High. Can he get himself out? No, he's trapped in the Static Storm. He's down as well. IG getting caught massively off guard by that smoke from IGV. And as you mentioned, there's no buybacks for them. This could potentially be it for them.
What a time for a DD rune. Cicada tore apart the OD with that double damage. That was the perfect rune to have for that fight. And OD, like, he commits in offensively. He probably thinks he's fairly tanky now against the Omnislash because he's got the Shiver's Guard, he's got the bonus armor, but the double damage, as well as just everything else, the control that the rest of the team provided, and they're going to get 3 melee Raxes off of this, it looks like. There's no ultimates. Even when they respawn, they don't have Epismith, they don't have Clear Offering, and in July, Lasso's got a short cooldown. He's looking for a
and
hit.
he's straining onto Burning. The Boulder Smash will be there in return. High with the Burrow Strike onto Paparazzi. Paparazzi silenced up as well, but Burning, he's falling low. The Crimson Guard is enough to keep him alive with the Shrine Heal. He is still staying alive here. He'll remain fine. The crits come through, flying to the face of the Disruptor. They've taken one. Burrow Strike on Cicada. Can they finish him off? Paparazzi's come back in, trying to help him out. He'll get the Rax. Now just go for the straight TP out. Do they have any sort of count? So they don't. Cicada escapes. They get what they came for. Paparazzi trying to get out with the BKB and Shikuchi should be okay. High doesn't get him with the Burrow Strike. Does have the Yules. OP coming through as well. They try for the blind boulder smash. They've got the gem on High. He's a little out of range. Jump forward from Borax. Gets the silence into the slow. High close to the gap with the Burrow Strike. They will kill the Weaver. But the damage, of course, already being done to their base. 3 melee racks down. The range racks as well gone in the middle. IG on a massive back foot now this game, as IG.Vitality just finding that crucial momentum to do what was always going to be the hardest, talking about breaking that high ground, and it did kind of come, as you said, off the back of Injulai, starting that fight, finding the lasso, playing very aggressively, and then off the back, IG, they just didn't have the goal for buybacks.
IG gonna go straight to the Rosh pit. They'll secure themselves Aegis and Cheese. May just be like an all-in down mid kind of moment. I don't really feel like they can hold out too much longer. The Jug is scaled so well into the late game. Disruptor as a support has with his Aghanim set. The Bounty Hunter's got Greaves and Pipe. All 5 of these IG.Vitality heroes have managed to scale with items. You've got 5 heroes in 5-digit net worth. The supports both have 11, close to 12k net worth, 15k on the Batrider.
And this Warlock's so
carries
poor.
looking very farmed.
Poor old Q. I mean, we saw him have a fantastic game one if you remember the Undying, but this game it's not been a lot of glory for the Warlock.
Yeah, it's been a much tougher affair, and we'll see what this 5-minute period has for IG, as they have the Aegis and Cheat play around, but it's going to be very, very tough for them. At least, I mean, I feel like the OD Aegis can make a big difference, because he just seems to die to the Omni Slash, and perhaps with Aegis in hand, he can come back and use that second life to win a fight. They're going to smoke up. They leave the lone druid pushing the lane. The rest of the team going to be in charge of winning the fight. Burning very fast. He can zip around the map with those phase boots. Join up with his team at least relatively quick. And they are going to try and jump on this mid lane.
There we go. They get the jump immediately onto Zakata. He's controlled. Can they have the damage to finish him off? They'll drop the sanities. Zakata trying to play through himself away. Can he escape the evasion? It's not enough. Zakata's down. IG find 1. Can they move on for more? Jump forward from high. Eyes onto Dogfights. Borax is there as well with the boulder smash. They've found the bounty hunter as well. Dogfights be safe. There's a flame break from Injuly. Dogfights trying to get himself away. High. Being very careful about this one. Has got the Burrow Strike again in a second, and with the gem, they should be able to chase him down. Injuly comes in though, grabs OP, drags him up to the high ground. OP though, trying to turn, has the Shiva's guard. The BKB out on Injuly means they can't kill the pad immediately. But OP survives. They try through Yules. High still has the Burrow Strike. Will get out on the side of it. Dogfights keeping eyes on IG. IG.V, do they want to try and chase this down? They're heading across.
Gem, though.
Got to be careful here. Sand King is still the one receiving the brunt of the attack. OP jumps back in. Still BKB unavailable for 10 seconds. Smash and silence onto Super. The Yules up onto OP, trying to just withstand the damage that he's doing. Dogfights will be able to get back up the high ground. Injuly jumps across. Borax is hunting for him high, falling very, very low. Injuly will chase down the Sand King. Should be able to take him out. He's trying to play his way out of this one with the Sandstorm, but the tracks out onto him. He actually lived. No, finally drops. Burning. Moves towards Injuly. Hasn't got the damage to hit him up on the high ground. Borax goes for the TP out, but Super cancels him. And indeed, the rat was done from Paparazzi. Mega creeps are out amongst all the chaos.
I mean, that was such a chaotic fight. It looked like IG were doing a bit. I think Weaver's like, this fight's a mess. Let's just go get the range recs. Let's get Megas. Let's try and secure this game.
Oh, mid lane Cicada just straight out the Warlock. Warlock ripped to pieces. Can they kill him though? They get the initial stun into the Burrow Strike. They've got the damage as well with burning an OP, but Cicada. Blade Furies. Can they kill this Jug? They'll blink forward. They really need him dead. He's got the Omni Slash, but the Crimson Guard's out from Borax. They group together, keep themselves alive. Cicada, though, blinks out immediately post Omni Slash. Up to the high ground. Borax is trying to chase him. The healing ward's out. High jumps forward. They'll get the stun. They'll take Cicada down, but he has buyback. Can they get more? IG need more kills. Super Glimmer Capes runs away.
They can't push these lanes out now with the Mega Creeps. Warlock's on base defend duty, but he's a Warlock against Mega Creeps.
He's a Warlock with 2k net worth.
Yeah, this mid lane at least pushed out a little bit. He's going to pass the cheese over to OP, since OP was fairly low. I wonder if he's just going to pop it and go all in for the push. Not really sure there's a good long-term plan for them right now. Yeah, he's just going to eat it. Doesn't want to hold on to it for too much longer and make sure they can get some value out of it. 1 minute of the Aegis, so they've still got this 6v5 scenario.
Oh man,
and
this
Jug's
really
buyback is available.
A push against all odds. There's the jump in. Ingelado immediately lassos himself. The Lotus Orb was out on the Sand King. Defensively, Astral trying to keep him alive through the Static Storm. But Burning, no, he's going to fall. Burning's out. Burning's down. 45 seconds. The BKB's come through. Sanity Eclipse drop, but Paparazzi gets the chance to time that's back out. He'll survive. Only Jess looks towards OP. OP, he's going to fall. The Aegis is popped. Borax. Can he do anything to help out the OD for round 2? OD trying to turn towards Injuly, but Paparazzi, Injuly, Super, and Dogfights around him. OP, can he get anything out of this? He can't. He's down. They do have buybacks though on Borax and on OP, but the base is in shambles. They're trying their best to hold here, IG. They couldn't force out the buyback for Jug. He's going to be fine and ready for this. And this is their last chance, IG. They've got to hold this defense. But they're up against Megas, and they're up against the full 5-man push of Vitality. No Sanity's Eclipse, no Epicenter. They're minus key components that they need for their team fight.
Jug should be a little careful. He bought Travels, doesn't have buyback. I imagine they make a safe call like, alright, let's just make sure we have buyback before we try and end this game. If they really want, they wait for the Rosh respawn, but at least bare minimum have buybacks. I mean, IG.Vitality were just so composed under pressure there. They got put in a position where Jug got picked off twice in a row. Neither time does he panic and use his buyback. His team make just a very calculated high ground defense. Good use of the lasso. Even using the lasso onto the Lotus Orb isn't a problem because it sets up the Aghanim Static Storm. So just keeping a hero in place, disabling them, and then the Static Storm gets dropped on top. So well executed. Team fights coming out from IGV, and well, we're just one successful team fight away from the GG being called at this point, and IGV going to Kiev.
A huge game, huge series for the two teams. No buybacks available, of course, for IG. They've only got this one life to defend on. Sanity's Eclipse, the only thing they're really missing, and that's down for 50 seconds, but it's almost incredibly likely that IGV will push before that's back. And this could be it for IG. There's the jump in July, immediately onto the OD. High, Burrow strikes away, OP in trouble. Lotus Orb, BKBs, he forces away. Paparazzi continues to chase down. The glimpse is there onto Q. Does he get the chance to drop the Golem before he goes down? He does. Will get the Golem out. In they go as well with the epicenter from High, starting to force IGV to the side, but they just don't seem to have the damage. IGV will start to back. OP looks towards Super. The Glimmer Cape's there. Borax rolls forward. Do they have the detection? They don't at the moment. Super jukes it out into the trees. OP will still find it, but Super is just wasting their time effectively burning. Savage rolls away one. They have managed to kill off three. Burning managed to get huge amounts of damage done in the mid lane as he picks up the double kill.
He's got a rapier.
Oh my god.
Does he? Like, how's he doing so much damage?
Oh my goodness. If they win this game and make it to the major because of a burning rapier lone druid, that really is going to be quite something. But they're up against all the odds. Can they do it?
They need to do that a few more times.
Oh
that fight could have been all over if they got the Static Storm on OD before he beat. That's kind of the call. That's what IGV is saying needs to happen. You've got to get the lasso into Static Storm, stop the BKB. But for the most part, IG are holding their own, using their Lincolns, their Lotuses fairly effectively, and at least buying some time.
Oh man. I mean, they do have so many ways, yeah, with the Lotuses that they can keep burning alive and safe. He's got the Hurricane Pike complete as well. Yeah. They can protect him. It's very hard for IGV to deal with this lone druid at the start of the fight, that's for sure.
And I don't think IG can really push out their lanes, even with this like rapier. They're not like going all in down mid. But problem is, next time IGV is gonna have Aegis, G's. They'll look to secure Rosh if they have to. Things will get harder before they get easier for IG. That was the easier of the two high ground defenses. The next one comes with Aegis and Cheese. A very fast Rosh respawn as well. Perhaps going to give a quick Aegis and Cheese to the IG.Vitality squad.
No reason really for IGV to force the issue. As they do indeed look towards Rosh. Very unlikely that IG could come out and contest this. They've got to keep eyes on the base, keep their base safe. As IGV will have themselves the Aegis, the Cheese as well. He's going to pick up what looks like Cheese? Cheese? Anyone want it? Yeah, Angela will take it. And he goes, picks up the Gorgonzola. And they're ready to go.
Yep. So 4 of the 5 buybacks on the Dire side. It's going to be difficult to win this. I mean, you can hold. I guess they're not going to use. That's the thing.
All on burning. Can he get the damage out? Can he focus the key targets? Against a Cheese and an Aegis, though, it's going to be so hard for IG. Burning has to be so careful not to get caught out of position. Everything invested in this lone druid's potential.
He's just hugging the tier 4 towers. I mean, the good news is you can't be split put. You've just got tier 4 towers to defend. There's only really one left when you've got just a throne left. But bad news is, well, you've got just a throne left to defend, so IGV will just keep spamming the tracks up. There's an epicenter.
With the epi, looking for the lead in straight away. He was trying on the sidelines to find July, but July, he comes in. He does manage to catch out Burning. Burning has been astraled. Will he be able to actually get his way out? It's the chaotic offering drop. Burning safely back to base. He'll turn around, start to try and dish off the damage, but they've lost the OD. He's out for a full minute and a half. No buyback available on him. Roll forward from Borax. They've got to go all in. The stun comes through. They've taken down the Disruptor burning. Now turns towards In-July. The damage isn't enough to kill him. In-July swallows the cheese. He's going to be fine. IG they've lost to. Burning gets bashed out. Triple kill for Cicada. And IGV will finish off the game. And they have guaranteed themselves at the Kiev Major. IG themselves will get another chance as they get knocked down. But Vitality, a first qualifying team from the Chinese region, and an impressive run as well. I think Vitality, they were the team that was in the tiebreakers, wasn't it? In the groups.
Yeah, they were in the tiebreakers.
They were in the tiebreakers.
Almost knocked out in the groups.
And they just had an incredible run, as you mentioned. They had that streak. They did obviously drop one game to IG in this series, but the top team, the top spot out of China, very, very impressive. And I kind of feel like if you're IG, you're probably kicking yourself for letting In-July get his bat. That bat did a lot from the start of the game to the very end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if they're willing to first stage pick it, it's like, man, should we really have first stage banned it? But very much like he played so well in that bat rider. He created so many openings and opportunities for them. As much as Hai got done in the laning stage, his Sand kind of fell off very hard. I feel like his impact on this game did not reflect his fantastic laning stage. Whereas In-July and like some of the IGV guys, they had a rough laning stage, but like, the Batrider was such a big playmaker this game. Cicada on the Jug, he kind of made up for that lackluster game 1 on the Jug where he went for the Shadowblade build. He did absolutely fantastic this time around. So all across the board, IGV really stepped it up. I mean, Super got tons of fun with his Disruptor. This is kind of like the classic bounty hunter game where you just fight around the track, you get kills, everyone gets money, everyone gets items, and then everyone gets to get a lot out of those items.
Absolutely, but there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. IGV, your victors here in the first final of China. There'll be more China action coming in tomorrow. That's it for China for today. We'll be moving on, I believe, if you're watching on the mainstream, to some CIS action. Spirit versus Na'Vi, the game that's coming up for CIS region, which should be an absolute ball. But thanks for joining me, Gods. And
no problem.
We'll see. What's the next thing you're casting on? What region you're hopping over to, Gods? Anything else? Or
I think I'm hopping over to the CIS finals later on with.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll see if Na'Vi can make that run back to the top, or if Spirit are going to knock them down, and who's going to end up there. But once again, thanks, Gods. We'll see you about, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this Chinese final. Stick around for more action here on Beyond the Summit as we continue to cover all the qualifiers for the Kiev.